Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Michael, we're not going live on Instagram because I forgot to push the button on that side. So that's just how it is today. How are you? I mean, I'm glad that you're here. I'm not going to go.
Yes, I'm alive as usual,
Yes.
and every day alive is a good day, right?
Well, that's something we can chat about. It should be a good day. Should we go with
It's
that?
always abundant. It's abundant in horrible things. It's in abundant in good things. It's abundant in tragedy, and it's in
Yeah.
joy. It's always abundant. It's always, and we are the valves that let it in our uniqueness.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good and bad are also only judgments, aren't they?
It's our judgment. Yeah, it's our judgment.
Yeah.
And how often was the ambiguity more valuable than any prize would have been? A prize. Look at the Olympics. We already forgot the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
Literally, we
exactly.
are literally forgotten in how many days are they finished now? A week? Well, not even a week, and
Yeah.
and it's already moving on to other things. So when you have a breakthrough where you can feel better, then that's real abundance. When you can transform and not bring in and let go of all the old stuff and just don't bring it with you. And you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, which is very true. And it's kind of the time that we are living in as well. Today is full moon, one of my favorite things in the world. But it's quite a powerful full moon as well. And it's a lot about um, kind of connecting to, it's a full moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius is all about the group and how do we contribute, I suppose, to this group of humans that we've decided to inhabit the earth with, um,
Mhm.
which can be quite tricky sometimes. We're also still talking about self-love, or loving thyself, and today we're diving into self-compassion. Now, I wonder how do you see what is, how do you see self-compassion?
What does compassion mean in your understanding? Just the
Uh,
word compassion, not self-compassion. Compassion. What does that mean in your comprehension or your
understand, yeah.
verbiage?
For me, it's kind of having an understanding of or sharing a meaning. It's like the definition of love for me. It is to embrace. To have compassion is to kind of bring it in and embrace it. Um,
So do you feel it's do you feel it's empathy?
um, yes, but no. Compassion is kind of walking, I suppose, in the usual sense. It would be related to empathy, walking in someone's shoes. But I think for me, it's a lot around um, trying to understand or putting yourself in that person's place from your point of view. To have compassion is to really care, to be interested, to yeah.
So
I
let's
don't know
see
how to
what
explain
comes
it.
in here. Let's see what comes in here. So can it be that compassion is, we always talk about the one-on-oneness, right?
Yeah.
Which is in a flashlight, right? I'm the spring, you are the light bulb, your husband is the reflector,
Mm.
your son is the tube, right? And
Yeah.
if it fits all together. But for example, we can't put the mirror in the back. We cannot put the flashlight in where the batteries go.
No.
That's why I always say the synergistic fit. That's your friend again.
He hasn't been around all week.
Now he
Yeah.
wants to be part of it. So the synergistic fit, that's why nature made it. And this came to me last night.
Mm.
It's like the synergistic fit is that's why everybody's one-on-one. So what systems say is just, okay, we want a flashlight. Just put ourselves together. I don't care if it's synergistically fit or not.
Mm.
But then the light bulb is where the battery goes, and then it's just totally screwed up, and it's like a stand. The mirror, the reflector is like a stand.
Yeah.
So the synergistic fit is not I want this and you all contribute, but dancing with each other. That's the dancing, the fitting. Let me try this. Like a little kid puts things in till the cog fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think compassion in that is our connection is the one-on-one, right? The where you really understand the maximum effectiveness of your one-on-one.
Mm.
And then we have the one. We also say we are all interconnected. And I think compassion it's almost like a training tool. Again, emotions are a tool
Yeah.
to that we have the context. So what does it matter if I'm one-on-one if I don't have a sense of the context that you and I feel? So, for example, synergistically fit.
Yeah.
If I don't feel that, if I don't have compassion with you and you with me, we
Mm.
don't find that we fit synergistically.
Mm.
Nobody on the world has ever thought about this except you and I. No, it really,
Yeah.
I mean, has looked at that.
Mm.
And this is coming from our mastermind. This is,
Yeah.
so it is unbelievable because I'm learning this as I'm speaking.
Yeah.
So it's unbelievable because if I don't have compassion, and empathy is kind of, a little lower, but the compassion
Mm.
is compassion for humanity, is compassion for my people,
Mm.
for my race, for my gender,
Yeah.
for the whole thing. And that is the synergistic fit. I think that's all about the synergistic fit. So how synergistically women fit to men, how synergistically are the Brits to the Americans, how
Mm.
how synergistically fit that. There's an overview, a feeling,
Yeah.
and you have to have both to get balance.
Mm.
Because we said the one of oneness is the one, and we have to be in the middle between 101 and one, the whole.
Yeah, one of. And for me, as you are talking now, compassion has no judgment. Well, for me, empathy sometimes has some judgment because
Yeah,
I feel for you, but compassion, there's no but. There's no,
it's a
um,
gauge. It's a gauge. It's a
yeah,
pure gauge. It's just I'm. How do you feel? 5. That doesn't mean anything. It just means okay. You're not. You could be 10, but you're 5. And compassion, I think, is that gauge to keep us in balance. Where the superpower is. The superpower is the 101 and the one, and seeing your 101, because it would be if you're 101, just 101, and you're not seeing the whole, that is not, that then the 101 is doesn't do anything. And that's what systems work with. They say, okay, you're a woman, you're a man, you're this. And you're lost. You disempowered right away. Because if I'm generalizing you and I just generalize you, I don't say anything else. And I don't give you there is one that we all interconnected. No, that's not.
I've been listening to Elizabeth Gilbert, who I really love, and I've listened to this book quite a few times. But today, I actually took the time. I had to drive everybody around, and I dropped my son at summer school. And I thought I'm going to go for a walk in the park or the thing. And I
Yeah.
put the book on, and she said something so interesting about nature. We talk about one of one, and we talk about how we fit into the whole of we are nature and we are part of this bigger thing, but as one of ones, as individuals uniquely. And she said something interesting around how often, or she was talking about an example or story about asking children or young people that were working in conservation or in nature related careers, you know, do they care about nature? And obviously the answer was yes. And they asked them, do you think nature cares about you? And none of them did. They didn't see the connection between, like, it goes both ways. The connection part is that we are connected to nature and it is connected to us. And that's how
because
we
we're part of
synergistic
each other.
with
We
it.
are part of each other. That's
Yeah.
what I think
And
we
it's
said that last year. Yes, last episode.
yeah.
Where Eckhart Tolle said that where is it start and where is it stopping. I love
Mm,
that.
mm,
Where is can you feel you're part of nature? Yes. So where
mm.
does nature stop and start? Nowhere. It's
No,
always together.
no.
It's one feeling. And of course, nature. If we care for nature, nature cares for us. It
And that's
cannot
what's
be.
so beautiful. And I don't think people see that often because yes, let's do all the stuff and make sure that and it becomes a task to look after the planet instead of
Yeah,
oh, we are in this, dance or in this
yeah,
space with
yeah.
nature. And she mentioned, humans are the gardeners, and or humans provide, or nature provides the seeds and humans provide the garden, or whatever, other way
We have to
around.
stewardship. Yeah, we have to stewardship actually, and we
Yeah,
we don't see that. We see it as a drawer. Yeah, it's very
yeah.
hard. It's an effort.
Which
It's
it isn't.
efforting. It isn't. It should
No.
not, because if you're aligning with it, it should be very easy, and it should be way easier. And we do it even with people. Look, everything is a drawer. Everything is
Mm,
an effort to love somebody, to have self-esteem, to have gratitude. Everything is going to be made into a task. And I think there cannot be uh, this compassion. And what did we talk about? Compassion today? Yeah, yeah, compassion, right?
yes, yeah. So,
Yeah,
and as a element of love, whether it's
yeah,
self-love or for others, to have compassion um, for yourself is quite an interesting concept. And it's interesting what you're saying now around how we make it into a task. And as soon as it becomes a task, then it becomes effort. And in that effort, it is loses the impact.
segregates. It's again, generalizing, efforting is always segregating. And passion is the word for spirit, drive.
Yeah.
So compassion, having when you have no passion in a job, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're never gonna be special, or you just
Mm.
getting that effort done to get paid. So very low quality thing. It's not gonna go to you have to have real passion for anything to work, you know
Yeah.
uh,
It is the
and it
driving force in what we do, and that creates compassion.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, because we can embrace and feel part of. I suppose
Yeah,
that's partly what I feel compassion is, to feel part of, or to partly feel what another person is feeling, or what we
and what you
perceive.
feel is self-compassion is that you are part of that whole. It's
Mm,
like I always saying, seeing the whole, seeing the flashlight, and not
yeah,
seeing just being a part of. I'm a real good spring. Okay, I'm a real good light bulb. Yeah,
yeah,
but seeing the compassion is in the context of a flashlight. You are there, and this is how it's got, and it's that feeling, it's the emotion, it's not the physical imagining it, it's the
mhm,
feeling. I'm part of it, and in that part probably is a lot of I think there's a lot of discovery and growth in this, because and awareness, obviously, because once you have that feeling, or at least guide yourself and say, I want to feel compassion. I want to feel that oneness. The oneness of me, the oneness of the earth, the oneness of woman, the oneness of man. I want to feel what that is. What is the oneness of that? And obviously,
yeah,
so it's a bigger one, and how the
yeah,
universe in you can go
yeah. And
to
that
the
brings
end.
me back to the moon. Have you seen the moon? Well, I saw it last night, which I'm now
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing it.
it was nice, yeah, but I was up since I'm up since 3.
Yeah.
So so
Oh, it's a
I didn't
gorgeous,
even
it's
I didn't even
great.
look when it is. I know everybody says the blue moon, blah blah blah. I don't go by astrology or anything. And
No,
but it's nice for being reminded. Okay, it was full moon. Now it makes sense. That was up from 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's reaching peak 7 o'clock our time tonight, so in about 3 hours time.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Um, but it's a beautiful moon. I mean, it's just so, it was red, red, red where we are. And for me, that gives me a sense of connection as well. If you can kind of see the stars and you can see the bigger picture as to, I am part of this
Yeah.
universe, really.
Magic. And you don't say, oh, that is magic, but I'm not. I'm horrible. I have no self-esteem. I have no nothing. But this is beautiful. The moon is beautiful. No, no. It gives you the wonderful feeling of beauty is that you're part of that. Even aesthetics. We know that the aesthetics is resonating with you, meaning they're part of you, right?
Yeah,
When we experiencing that we are part of that
yeah,
is, or that beautiful painting, that beautiful aesthetics, nature, whatever. I think that's the feeling of belonging, of being home, coming home too.
yeah, yeah. And that is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Because it is how you see it, how which makes
Yeah.
it beautiful. Um, which
And
can be
everybody
quite
sees it
distressing.
differently. It's not like, oh, you say, oh, the moon is the greatest. I can look at the moon today. How often was that? That people say the greatest moon, and then you look at nothing, and then next time you feel nothing, and I feel, oh my God, the moon was unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of life, isn't it? The moon
yeah,
doesn't have to do to you what it does for me, or Mars for that matter, or Uranus, or whatever it is.
yeah.
Um, but I think it is also, um, sometimes a lot of people don't ever have that kind of connection, that nothing becomes, the external never becomes uh, beautiful. Like there's nothing that really
But,
moves them or
but look
moves
how we're
me
gonna be
in.
with people. Look how we give the most person that you don't like, or it pushes you away, and the most
Mm.
people that attract you. Look how we look at them. We not look. See, I have shifted to, if I hate that person or I like that person, it's a part of me. So
Oh
I
yeah,
always try to sieve it through. It's a part of me. So when I
yeah,
go, I think I said that before, when I go in a bus and I see in the bus people that I despise, or like a feeling.
yeah,
It's not. I'm not saying I despise you or whatever, but if I feel not well with this person, or and say, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is a part
mm,
of me. So what is that? What I contribute to that? And the more I do
yeah,
that, the less I see upsetting people. The more I
mm,
see, the more I say, why did I create? What is my part in this? I'm not taking responsibility, but I'm saying, what is my reflection in this? Or even in politics, what is
yeah,
my things that this goes so crazy? and
mm,
and and I don't segregate myself from the experience. And when you segregate yourself from the experience, fit because you're free will, then it really gets hard. That really so you know
but I think it's also, we segregate, or my theory is, if we can find more connection in the small things, then we will feel more compassionate, for each other and ourselves, by connecting to ourselves and nature, and whatever it is. I was just driving the kids around today, and I noticed how much we create fences and places of segregation, or segregating ourselves from nature. There's, on the school grounds, there's fences that just has to keep the kids off the grass. But why do you need to keep the kids off the grass? Shouldn't you have them on there barefoot, preferably,
uh,
running around for as long as you
they
can?
feel like it. If they don't have to run. They can stay on the concrete. It's just it's
Yeah, but
they need the
don't
concrete.
create the separation. Yeah.
Yeah, this yeah,
Mm,
that's, I think that's what we all suffer from, because
mm,
we do that through conditioning over generations. That conditioning of And I think reality is totally upside down, because we say the outside counts versus the inside really counts. It's
Yeah.
not the outside. It's not like I have a sports car now. I need to be the better person because I got that new sports car. That is, or I got the beautiful woman, or I got this, or I got that. That doesn't mean anything. It's about the inside and how we energetically vibrating with each other on the inside, with each other. And in that thing, what helps me is to see what we always talk. The 101 is the human centric. That is the part. See, the human centric is our patterning what's correct,
Mm.
that we are part of nature, right? And
Yeah.
then the system relevant is our creation, our art creation. That is what our mini gods. We are mini gods that can create their own environment.
Yeah.
And then there's the digital world, which was sadly is a thing because we didn't update our artworks. We just let them dusty and getting dirty, and just say, okay, and let's do a digital world where we can make everything up,
Yeah.
where we can
It's also,
dance, where
I
we
mean,
can dance with people and everything.
yeah. And it's much easier to stay disconnected if we live in that world. Um, where if we can, yeah, just find connection or find things to bring passion and connection back into our lives, and we can't do it for anyone else. Like, it's not a space, you can
Yeah,
only experience it for yourself. You even through expression and art, that putting that out there is also not for changing or showing necessarily your experience. The people, your audience, or whoever is consuming your artwork or your expression, is doing it from their own perspective, so they are seeing it as what they need to be seeing it for.
yeah,
If
but
that
everybody has different passion, right?
Yeah.
So you have a passion, let's say, for wine. I don't drink wine, for example.
Yeah.
For this artist, I have for another artist,
Hmm.
and we have also the different fulfillment. I think passion goes also with fulfillment. So it
Mm.
would be interesting to find for compassion, what is the fulfillment of that? What
Mm.
is I don't even know if there's a word, because passion is very parallel with you have your own passion, because the passion is that where it fulfills you. Right? So when you say you have experienced that, you have a passion, for example, for art. So
Yeah.
you have gotten fulfillment out of art. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a passion for art.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the fulfillment can be inherent. So you have many writers that spend their whole lifetime putting their heart and soul into their writing and never get published. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that there's no fulfillment in it, So it's also, how do you measure fulfillment?
There shouldn't be fulfillment in that. There should be fulfillment automatically by
I mean,
creating.
externally,
Shouldn't
it
be,
doesn't
it
look
shouldn't,
like there's fulfillment. I mean, from an outside perspective, and
yeah.
because they never reach that whatever they're supposed to reach. But there's no choice necessarily in whether they're following their passion. It's not an
Yeah.
external fulfillment. It's something that is just has to be done. There's no other way to live but to express through writing or painting or whatever it is that
Yeah,
fulfills
it's
you.
always the journey. Is never the end is very disappointing.
Mm.
Then
Yeah.
in this, even if there's the icing on the cake, but the icing alone doesn't do anything. So if you're just
Yeah.
focusing on the Oscar or the gold medal, that doesn't do anything. That's just
Mm.
that's nice. It's icing on the cake. With the cake, having a great experience to get the gold medal is one thing,
Mm.
but getting just a gold medal or focusing on the gold medal and hurting and everything and sacrificing yourself, which has happened in the Olympics so much because
Yeah.
they're on drugs. There's all this political conflict and all this stuff. It takes the spirit away. It's funny that we talk about this. The spirit take away growing from the self-awareness, because you compete for self-awareness. You said, I'm going to go 100% what I can do, and I want to
Mm.
see how the other tribe over there does their thing. And it's not that I beat them, it's about seeing where I am and where
Mm.
I can go, how much more than 100% I can, or how close am I to 100%? Because there's a limit, there's a limit. How close am I? Yeah. And,
But you never know because there's no ceiling. So, for example, in rugby practice yesterday, I was talking to my son about this. They do these line sprints, and I watched him, and he was kind of a head to head with another kid, but he kept looking at the other kid, and I was trying to get him to find a way to not look at the other kid because he's
look
pacing
at only yourself. Yeah. You look at the only
only
yourself.
yourself. But now you also have to pace yourself. So it's an interesting life perspective as to how do you gauge 100% if if it's a
It's,
process.
it's for everybody different. For you, 100% is different than for me. But we are both addicted to awareness. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter if we make money with awareness or not.
Mm.
Money is the icing, but we will. It doesn't matter. We always will be addicted. Once you're addicted to awareness, then it's literally, it's so life giving. It's so passionate. I think it might be awareness, might be a form of self compassion.
Yeah,
The
and
self awareness is a
compassion for others, because it's such an interesting part of awareness is to try and see through others' eyes, to try and gauge how it might seem different from a different angle. That's for me part of awareness
yeah
as to I experience it this way, but could it be seen as a different or from all the different angles? How does it feel? How does it look like? Um, what is that like from your side? You are from a different culture, you're from a different
yeah
um, language base and a different space, you live in a different, you know what I mean? So what does it look like from that angle is for me
yeah
fascinating always.
yeah. And you can only guess, because I cannot imagine South Africa. I cannot
Yeah.
even. Yeah, as I have a closer thing to England, but not to South Africa. So I don't
No.
have that experience. So it's for me very hard to be compassionate for your South Africanness, and probably your my Austrianness is
Yeah.
very hard because you're not having an experience there.
Yeah.
But
But I
but I think
can touch on it by really listening. So if I engage fully in a dialogue process with you on that topic and try and bring it back to my understanding, so to create a common ground between us, if we dialogue around our experience of culture or the world, you know coming from where we came. Like I come from, I was born in Namibia, so I grew up with a little bit of a German kind of culture around me, then moving down to South Africa, which is again a different culture, and then traveling and living in the UK. So all these things for each person create such a beautiful spectrum of views or perspective. Um, like if we can bring all of that to all of our conversations or our dialogues, in looking at it from the other person's perspective as well, as much as we can, because we can't really at all,
yeah,
but we can try. And in the trying, I find there's more awareness, even of me, in that process.
the question is here: are we? Because we, in at least the theory, we are not the experts on that, but people coming, over and over to incarnate, and one rule of incarnation is you forget everything. Do you think unconsciously, because we're not forget unconsciously, that compassion is the wire to the unconsciousness, where when you focus on my Austrianness or German
Mm,
heritage,
mm,
when you or I focus on yours,
mm,
that we actually know we can remember. I think that that's probably the best, that compassion is the remembering of the oneness, of the how the flashlight is that we all have, because in the unconscious we all connected. So
I like
compassion
that
is,
a lot. Yeah.
this just came in. I didn't think about that before. That's why this is so valuable. Our thing, awareness seekers,
Yeah.
the wisdom seekers.
Yeah.
So
I
no, it
really
just
like
came
that compassion is maybe the
in.
remembering of, because in previous life or in previous incarnations, I
Yeah,
could have been a man living
yeah.
in Austria.
But even if you
And
don't, even if you
mm,
haven't, you have the access. There's a space where you know everything,
well,
and
it's like
perhaps,
collective unconscious. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the oneness. It's the
Yeah.
connection to the oneness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's beautiful. That is
And
beautiful.
I love that, and that's a perfect place to end this.
Yeah.
How compassion is that connection point to the oneness.
And let us know if you find anywhere where you can, on our level, because we would love to listen to the people that are on this level of awareness.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
actually showing how you can become aware just by this beautiful second superpower,
Yeah.
the open dance communications between humans. The
Yeah.
first one is creativity, and then adaptation is the third.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
We will take this up again next week.
Yeah.
Still on the topic of self love, which is fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.